What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best crossbow and dagger build in Throne and Liberty. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of the setup. Then I will explain what skills and upgrades should you focus on. Then as well we'll see what is the best gear and how to get it for both the mid game and the full end game. And then finally we'll go over the weapon masteries, stats, your skill rotations, and even what guardian should you use, so we would be able to get the highest damage possible and much more. This is currently the highest DPS setup in the game. Because of your weapons we have extremely high damage, and if you use the right build, then you will consistently reach 20 stacks of thunderclouds, which will give us explosive damage, and you can activate this every few seconds. Crossbow and daggers are both unique weapons, because they are dual wielded. And what makes dual wielding so unique in this game is that for every attack you do with these weapons, there's a chance to get a double hit with their offhand. And on top of that, you can even increase the chance of this by using the selfless diffusion, which will increase our damage from 2 to 4 times. If you are looking for the best meta DPS build, then this is the one for you. So let's move over to the build, and first of all we have our skills. So for defensive skill we use the Black Blade, while for active skills we get the Inject Venom, Mother Nature Protest, Selfless Diffusion, Mortal Mark, Nimble Leap, Quick Fire, Mana Exchange, Knife Throwing, Fatal Stigma, Cleaving Moonlight, Brutal Incision, and Weak Point Shot. As you can see from the gameplay, I don't have all of the same skill icons on my bar. It is because the skill icons will change depending on our specialization setup. So, Inject Venom will turn into the Lightning Infusion, and Brutal Incision will turn into the Thunderclouds Bombing. And then for passive skills, we get the Bloodlust, Nature's Power, Ambidexterity, Piercing Strike, Assassin's Instincts, Wrathful Edge, Destructive Fang, and Murderous Energy. Then as for skill upgrade priority, for active skills we mainly want to focus on the Black Blade, Quick Fire, Cleaving Moonlight, Brutal Incision, Inject Venom, Selfless Diffusion, and Mana Exchange. While for passive skills we focus on Assassin's Instincts, Wrathful Edge, Nature's Power, Piercing Strike, Ambidexterity, and Murderous Energy. And then for the rest of your skills, they're not as important, so just upgrade them as you progress through the game. Also, remember to always upgrade all of your skills to blue first, before moving on to the purple. Next we have the skill specialization, and for Inject Venom, select the Lightning Infusion and cooldown reduction. Then for Selfless Diffusion, don't select anything. Then for Nimble Leap, get the consecutive use and cooldown reset. Then for Mana Exchange, get the skill effect enhanced. Then for Fatal Stigma, get only damage increase. Then for Brutal Incision, get the Thunderclouds Bombing. Then for Mother Nature Protest, get the Lightning Arrow. For Mortal Mark, don't select anything. Then for Quick Fire, get 3 of these, so the minimum chain fire, damage increase and cooldown. For Knife Throwing, get additional hit. Then for Cleaving Moonlight, select the consecutive use, effect accumulation and attack speed increase. And finally for Weak Point Shot, don't get anything. Next we have the weapon mastery, and this is how it should look like for the crossbow. So take a look at the middle and get everything from the mystical region until the cold vision. Then now go to the bottom and select that entire row. And then again, this is how it should look like for the dagger. So pretty much the same thing. In the middle start getting everything from the silent dash until the sorrowful silence. And then go to the bottom and get that entire row. Next let's take a look at our gear, and all of these items you can easily farm yourself. Which means that I specifically found items that only require for you to grind specific spots, and not use Auction House if you don't want to. And also, if you are looking for leveling or farming gear setup, then I recommend for you to watch my leveling guides, which are already up on the channel. So first off, we are using the Rex Chimaeru's crossbow, with traits like the hit chance, heavy attack chance, and added attack speed. All gear should be at its max level, and you can get this item's crafting recipe from the Temple of Slaughter. Next we have the Licorious Wicked Thorns, with traits like the hit chance, heavy attack chance, and critical hit chance. You can get it from the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Elusive Hex Weaver Hat, with max health, melee evasion, and cooldown speed. You can get it by defeating NPCs, such as the Excavator 9 or the Worker Ant. Next we have the Supreme Devotion, with mana regen, skill damage resistance, and debuff duration. You can get it from the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Soul Mirror Carapace with magic evasion, ranged evasion and buff duration. You can also get it from the same place, so the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Ascendant Guardian Gloves with max mana, melee evasion and added attack speed. You can get it from the purple armor chest or in the Butcher's Canyon. Next we have the elusive Hex Weaver Pants with max health, magic evasion and debuff duration. You can get it by defeating NPCs such as the Excavator 9 or the Acid Ant, but to be honest any other blue piece will work fine as well. Next we have the Ascendant Guardian Shoes with max mana, mana regen and melee evasion. And as this is our second Transcendent set, so we will get 7.5% cooldown speed. And you can get him from the Precious Blessing Pouch or by defeating the Demon Hoof Shaman. Next up we have the Clasp of the Conqueror with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can only get it from the purple armor chests. Next we have Bracers of the Primal King with max health, skill damage resistance and debuff duration. You can get it from the Cave of Destruction. Next we have the Violent Signet with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can get it from the Cursed Wasteland. Next we have the Sapphire Dimensional Band with max health, skill damage boost and buff duration. You can only get it from the purple armor chests. And finally we have the Belt of the Endless Slaughter with max health, skill damage resistance and debuff duration. You can get it from the Butcher's Canyon. Last but not least, if at this current moment you only have blue gear, then don't worry because that gear doesn't really matter, and you will soon enough start changing it for the purple pieces. This setup that I showed is the best current gear that anyone can farm, but no matter what gear you choose, this build will still work fine, but this setup is just an example of what good items with good traits will look like. Next up, let's take a look at our gear upgrades. This game doesn't have a very typical gear progression, so by this I mean that you will have to upgrade pretty much anything you get. So you'll go from grey to green to blue and finally to purple. No matter at which stage of progression you're watching this video, just keep upgrading your equipment to their max level. And then when you get better gear, just transfer the experience from the old one to the new one. As for my gear recommendations is when you reach level 50, just farm accessible gear by doing open world dungeons. Also you want to extract traits from the gear for Lucent. On top of that, the gear that you don't use you will want to turn into the lithographs and then sell them on the auction house. And last but not least, for your traits just prioritize the ones that give you the highest damage. And don't forget that you can acquire new traits by using the trait Unlockstone, which you can get from the common trait Unlockstone bundle. Next up we have the stats, and depending on your gear you should adjust them accordingly. So the goal for the endgame is to reach 40 dexterity, 50 wisdom and 40 perception. Our build will focus on bonus damage, so it will be more consistent damage wise than any other setup, because we won't be relying on critical hits. For PVE you care mainly about maximum damage, so that's why we want to prioritize dexterity and perception, as they synergize very well with our high damage skills. Next we have our Guardian choice, and this creature is a special transformation that can add offensive or defensive buffs to your character for 30 seconds. And for our build, the best choice is the Shade Revenant Steno. This Guardian launches projectiles every second that can crit on heavy attack. The main reason of why this Guardian synergizes so well with our build is because his projectiles that hit enemies will proc our Mother Nature's Protest and Mortal Mark, so he will increase our damage and proc our skills for a massive amounts of damage. And now finally we have come to the gameplay. So the highest damage rotation is to first of all use the Lightning Infusion, then Mother Nature Protest, then Fatal Stigma, then Mortal Mark, then Cleaving Moonlight, then Quick Fire, then Selfless Diffusion, then Thunderclouds Bombing for the first time, then the Knife Throwing, then Cleaving Moonlight again, and then finally the Thunderclouds Bombing again. And then from here we just rinse and repeat. So pretty much our main goal is to buff our damage and build up the Thunder stacks, so then we can use the Thunderclouds Bombing multiple times to do massive amounts of damage. Also, there are a few tips that you need to keep in mind. So first off, you will want to use the weak point shot every time that the enemy uses a fury attack, and this will help you to maintain high DPS. Also, only use the first attack of the Cleaving Moonlight every time it's ready. The second attack should never be used, because you gain attack speed while it's up. Then as well, if you ever run into mana issues, then use the Mana Exchange and the Block Blade, because these two skills are great sources of gaining and maintaining your mana throughout the rotation. And then finally, remember that the dexterity is the main attribute of our build. Having high attack speed increases the animations of your skills, which will allow us to get more skills every second, thus increasing our DPS even further. And that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, click like, subscribe and comment. If you're interested in more content, then check out my channel and I will see you in the next one. So take it easy, peace.